Hello everyone, I am Parikshit and welcome to another exciting session on Unacademy Plus. In today's session, we are going to talk about TISS. The TISS notifications are out. It is one of the premier B schools in the country and probably for lakhs of aspirants, it is a dream college. So today's session, the 15-minute session, we are going to talk all about the Tata Institute of Social Science, the notifications, the admission process, the difference between the TISSNet and the newly introduced additional exam that most of you might not be even aware of at this point of time. But before we get started, as I always say, give me 10 seconds to ensure that I am streaming live before we get started with today's session. Perfect. I think we are streaming live and we are good to start. Let's get started. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the notifications and then I'm gonna talk about the newly introduced exam that a lot of you would have to appear for this year in additional to the TISSNet to secure an admission for the coveted HR course, right? Okay, so the notifications are released by the Tata Institute of Social Science, right? And the application form will be released by the Tata Institute on November 20, 2020. So the application form, so what has now been released is the notification. And the online registration will start immediately. So moment the application form is released, your online registration starts and continues till January 15, 2021. So some of you might be looking at, so there are two categories of people. Category 1, this is your option 1 because you want to pursue a course in HR. Option 2, you want to have it as a backup plan. So I would say for those of you who wish to have it as a backup plan, first write the CAT. Accordingly you come to know how well the exam has gone, right? And accordingly you decide whether you need to fill up the TISS form. But remember, the TISS application form is very cheap compared to a lot of other forms that you will be filling or you have already filled at this point of time. Now the entire process is online. Entire registration process is online except if you belong to certain specific regions such as the Northeast, Jharkhand and Jammu and Kashmir, because in these regions there are often a lot of issues regarding internet connectivity. So TISS is allowing for applicants from these states to apply via the offline process where you fill up the form offline and then courier it to the institute. Now the complete schedule will be announced on November 2020, okay? And any one of you who have a bachelor's degree from a recognized university or will have a degree by the time you seek admission in TISS next year is eligible to write the exam. Okay. Now the important dates that you need to keep in mind. Important dates for the TISSNet. Remember, this is the step 1. TISSNet is the first exam. A new exam had also been introduced, but this is the schedule for the first exam. The TISSNet 2021 registration deadlines. Registration, as I said, would start on the 20th of November 2020. Okay. And it would continue till 15 January 2021. So that's a long window. You would have given a lot of exams by then, and then accordingly you know if HR is your first choice or not. If not, probably as a backup, you can still go ahead and apply. But for those of you who dream it and want to pursue a career in HR, this is a college, one of the finest colleges in the country. The last date, if you belong to the Northeast or Jammu and Kashmir or Jharkhand, you might have couriered on the 15th, and the last date for the institute to receive it is the 20th of January. Then the downloading of admit cards will begin from the 5th of February. There are a lot of centers. Almost every major capital state, okay, capital city in India will have TISSNet exam centers. So there is not much traveling. In case you are wondering if you have to travel all the way to Mumbai to write the exam, no, that's not the case. It's an online exam. You can write it from your home city. When I say home city, I would mean a city within your state. Next, the pre-orientation program, the details will be announced and then the exam date is 20th February 2021. 20th February 2021. Okay. Okay. Now what about the fees? If you belong to a general category, your fees, remember for TISS there are many courses. So if you choose to apply for one course, the fees is 1030. For two courses, 2060. So it just gets multiplied. And for three courses, 3090. So you can apply for a maximum of three courses. Maximum of three. Remember, the flagship is the HR program. And if you belong to a category student, SC, ST or OBC, then your fees is 260, 520 and 780 for 1, 2 and 3 courses respectively. Again, the application fee, if you belong to the reserved areas of the Northeast, Jammu and Kashmir and Jharkhand, the application fee is mentioned on your screen. Okay. The next very important detail. There are two exams and a lot of you probably are not aware of the TISSMAT. Now what is the TISSMAT? There are two exams. As I said, the first one is the TISSNET that all of you need to appear, and additionally some of you will have to appear for the TISSMAT. Now till 2019, the last year, life was very simple, I would say. Tata Institute of Social Science had just one exam, the TISSNET. Okay. Now from 2020 onwards, what had happened? They have introduced a new exam called the TISS Management Aptitude Test. Management Aptitude Test. Okay. Now what I'm going to do in this article or in this session, I'm going to provide you information regarding the TISSNET versus the TISSMAT. Remember, very, very important. You need to know the difference, and you need to know that you need to appear for two exams if you desire to seek a course, seek admission in their flagship courses. Now let's talk about the TISSMAT. The TISSMAT is a new exam introduced by the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, right? And the TISSMAT, when will it be conducted? It will be conducted right after the TISSNET. Right after the TISSNET. Now who will have to appear for the TISSMAT? Very important. TISSMAT will have to be appeared by the students who seeks admission in their HRM and LR Pro, in HRM and this ODLC course, ODCL course, which is a leadership course. Remember, TISS doesn't offer you an MBA degree. It rather offers you an MA, and that is considered to be equivalent to the MBA that you would do from a flagship B school, right? So most of you who desire to seek admission in TISS seeks admission in their HRM course. HRM is Human Resource Management and Labor Relations. So if you desire to seek admissions in their flagship program, you have to write the TISSMAT as well as the TISSNET. Okay. Now for other students, they have a lot of courses. They have courses in let's say they have courses in analytics. They have a lot of other courses. For other courses which are not their flagship program, only the TISSNET exam is sufficient. Only the TISSNET exam is sufficient. Right? But as I would say, Tata Institute is known for HRM, and if you desire to seek admission in the HRM program, remember you also need to fill up the form for TISSMAT. Now, what is the difference? What are the difference in the subject contents between the two exams? Okay, between the two exams. Now, first of all, both of them are online exams, so there is no worry of the corona pandemic. You don't have to travel. And as I said, TISSNET centers are available across every major city in India, almost in every state. Next, the type of questions. Both of them are multiple choice questions. How many questions are we talking about? In the first exam, which every one of you have to write, 100 questions. In the second exam, only those who seek admission in their flagship HRM program, Human Resource, they have to apply. They have to write for them 45 questions. Okay. 100 minutes for the TISSNET exam for all, and 30 minutes for those of you who write the second exam. In both the exams, the number of sections is 3. Now, what is being tested is important here. I see some of you are probably asking questions, but yeah, I will answer them once I'm done with my session. Okay, probably the last 5 minutes I will take up for question answers. Sections, you have general awareness. Mind you, this is I won't say the toughest, but rather the highest weightage, the highest weightage. So in the TISS, you will not be able to do well if your general awareness is poor. When I say general awareness, I both mean current awareness, current things happening around you, and static GK, So the major portion of your exam, 40% is general awareness, 30% is verbal, and 30% is maths and LR. Okay, so remember, you need to work on your general awareness, which is poor for 95% of the aspirants who write the examination or who seek admission in a B school. I hope you don't fall in that category. Next, for the second exam, there will be a comprehension. So a comprehension probably on a social issue, right? On a social issue, on women rights. So these are topics which they want candidates to be aware of. So you'd be tested on one such topic. Then you would have management data interpretation. All of you know what is data interpretation, right? And then there is another section on business awareness. Now, the first exam is relatively easy. Why do I say it's relatively easy? Because there is no negative marking. But in the second exam, you lose 1/4 of the marks for every wrong answer that you mark. For every wrong answer that you mark. So remember, you need to prepare accordingly. So first prepare for the TISSNet, and after that you need to prepare for the TISSMAP as well, which will be conducted right after the TISSNet exam. Now let's get into some FAQs. Let's get into some FAQs which most of you might be having in your mind. Okay. Now how many times can I appear for the TISSNet exam? There is no cap. You can keep on appearing. But when I say keep on appearing, remember, I'm talking about once a year. Because the exam anyway is held once a year. So there is no limit. You can apply every year in case you don't get this year and you have a dream college, the Tata Institute, you can apply even the next year. So there is no limit. Next, remember, TISS has a lot of reservations. And the fees is different for reserve categories. Because the fees is different, because there are a lot of reserve categories, it is very important that if you are seeking admission via a reserve category, you have to submit documents at the time of applying. So make sure, in case you are applying via, let's say, a SC category or a ST or a non-creamy OBC, even they have reservations for Kashmiri migrants, or if your family members, your dad is working in the armed forces, please make sure that you have the category certificates. Otherwise, they will reject your application. Very, very important. Also, for people who are economically weaker sections, okay, remember, you need to produce the income certificate. And if you seek to apply reservation, okay, seek to apply via the reserve categories, you also need to ensure that your family income is less than 1 lakh or between 1 lakh and 8 lakhs. Remember, there are reserve categories and the fees is very less. So if you fall in these categories, you definitely wish to apply via one of them. And definitely the payment that you have made, right? This fee application. So you must have paid some application, especially if you are doing it offline. So if you are applying via the offline method, let's say you fall in the Jammu and Kashmir region, or let's say the Northeast, you must have applied offline. Then what do? You need to also give it a copy of your scanned TISS challan, okay? And then a scanned copies of your photographs and signature. Obviously, these are required. Next thing, what do I do if I forget my TISSNet login password? This is very common. I would suggest you don't forget your password. At least write it down somewhere. You seek to become a manager in the future, right? So you cannot be forgetting such small things. So definitely, if you forget your password, there is no problem. You can always click on the forget password link and a new password will be sent to your email ID. So make sure that you enter the correct email ID. Otherwise, there will be a problem to log in the second time. If you have forgotten your password, you enter the wrong email ID, then the only way you can recorrect is you have to apply again. It means you need to pay the fees again. Next, is the TISSNet fee same across all categories? As I was telling from the very beginning, no, the fees is not same. If you belong to a reserve category, the fees is much, much lesser. So definitely, if you belong to a reserve category, make sure that you have these documents so that you seek the benefits. Next, do I need to send the application form via post? No. If you are submitting the documents online, then you need not do anything offline, right? You don't have to send anything via post. But if you are submitting the documents offline, as I say, Jharkhand, Northeast or Jammu and Kashmir, then you have to send the application form via post. Now, can you apply for more than one program, or if you are interested in more than one program, do you have to apply separately? The answer is yes. Let's say you apply only for the HRM program, which is the flagship program, and at the end you realize your score is not very high. Your score is not very high. Now probably you are okay with even the second best program in TISS. But you know what? Unfortunately, you have not ticked that during the application filling process. So what will happen? You will not be eligible to apply or probably expect an interview call for their second best program. So definitely make sure that you take a conscious decision on how many programs you want to apply. Someone might be thinking, let me tick mark all the programs. You know what? The fees is dependent on the program. So fees, if you apply for 2 programs, the application fees is just double. If you apply for 3 programs, the application fee is just triple. So you can apply for maximum 3 programs. And then remember, you need to, they have mentioned a photograph, the photograph size. So it should be very, very careful that your photograph should be colored and less than 500 KB. So this is the size that they have mentioned. Please make sure that you take care of the minute details, lest your application form should get rejected. Now, having said that, I would like to stress on one more point here. As I was mentioning, right, the TISS exam, right, here we had talked about the fees, and I also talked about the different exam formats, right? So if you see the exam formats here, there are different sections that are getting tested. General awareness, different questions in English, maths and LR. So you need to make sure that your preparation is very focused for TISS, very specific to TISS. For that, Unacademy provides you a detailed course on TISS. Unacademy is currently running a course on previous year TISS questions. Last many years. So a lot of questions, and there will be exclusive batches on Unacademy for TISS, where your content would be tailor-made to ensure that it is TISS specific. Now, if this is your dream college, please make sure that you do not get a surprise on the exam day. Definitely make sure that you appear for a lot of TISS mocks, you appear for a lot of TISS specific sessions. And if you wish to enroll for Unacademy Plus, where you get subscription to this exclusive TISS courses, please use my discount code, because that will give you 10% off. So whatever fees, you can keep a note of my discount code. This is my name. So you can apply this as your discount code. And if you do that, you will get 10% off on the TISS specific courses. And if you subscribe to Plus, it is just one subscription. It is not like you will get access to only TISS. If you subscribe to Unacademy Plus, you get access to TISS, you get access to SNAP, you get access to ZAT, you get access to Maharashtra CET. All courses which will be running on the Unacademy platform will be running and are currently running live. So please make sure there is just one subscription, and you can take the subscription. You also get a 10% off if you use my referral code Parikshit Saikia. And one subscription, mind you, gets you access to the entire platform. So that's a very big benefit. So any question that you have at this point of time, I would come out with more specific videos on TISS in the future, but definitely make sure that if you are interested in human resources, right? HR, what is HR? Probably you deal with humans, right? Human resources, as they say. If you are working, you must have seen your HR department. It's not only about increments, salaries. HRs also deal with recruitments, labor management. So you would have to know a lot about labor laws, right? So these are the kind of things that actually interest you. Then definitely TISS is the go-to place, a dream college for lakhs of aspirants. So I hope I answered most all of your queries. In case you have any queries, you can post it in your comments and I'll be glad to answer them. In case you have liked my video, do please hit the like button, and that motivates me to make more and more videos. So till the next time, till tomorrow morning 10:30 a.m. where my next class will be scheduled, it's a goodbye from me. I wish you a happy Diwali and please stay safe. Take care and goodbye till we meet again. Goodbye.